Today on DNVR Buffs Live is Cederian Morgan, the next 5-star player to commit to Coach Prime in Colorado. Reacting to this weekend's massive recruiting weekend. We got a commitment. We got a visitor coming in. Going to react to a couple power rankings. ESPN did a newcomers list, and Shedeur Sanders is balling in Brown's rookie minicamp. Let's go. Buff Nation
Squad
coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. What are you laughing at, bro?
You, bro, you're hilarious, bro.
It's DNVR Buffs Live. Welcome into the show. What is up, chat? What's up, Ivan, Artemis, Ken,
Chatsky,
Jamel,
What's
ML
up?
Tyler, David, Essence Services. All our friends are here.
Whole squad in here.
Today on the show, Shedeur Sanders is balling in Brown's rookie minicamp, and a good story to come from there. A great story from Travis, by the way, too. I don't know if you saw that.
That was cool.
Yeah, we'll react to ESPN's put out a list, top 2025 newcomer classes, recruits, transfers, all that. We'll react to that. Some transfer portal news, but we start today with the second massive recruiting weekend in as many weekends for Coach Prime and the Buffs. They've turned it up. As far as that damn knob will go, they have turned it all the way up for this 2026 recruiting class, pursuing big-time blue chippers across the board, every position. This weekend's visits headlined by Cederian Morgan, top 2 wide receiver in the class. Would instantly become a wide receiver 1 for the future, listed at 6'4", 210. Got a little bit of quotes here from Steve Weltfong from Cederian's visit. He said he had a great time. Really, the coaching staff, being around the whole coaching staff, I enjoyed every single one of them. Just getting in there, knowing I can play early and build my brand, and being up under Coach Prime and the other coaches on the staff, that could be an easy path for me to get to the NFL. Speaking about Boulder, he said, the city, the town, the mountains, it's very different from me because I'm from the South. I saw a lot of new things on his recruitment. He said, they got a great shot. That was my first time being there. I really enjoyed it.
Welcome to the club, young man, of enjoying Boulder, Colorado, and everything that comes with the Coach Prime era, man. You said it, man. Cederian Morgan, a 5-star, a blue chip recruit. I said it before the show to you. Cederian Morgan would be the Jordan Seaton of this 2026 class, the Julian Lewis of this 2026 class. That's the caliber of player that he is. And Colorado is recruiting heavily his caliber of player. Shout out to our guy Matt H at SkullBuffs22 on Twitter.
Oh yes, great tweet. Thank you for this.
Yeah, he mentioned the fact that there have been 17 official visits so far this spring. 17 official visits, including Johnny Jones earlier in the spring.
Yeah, in April.
8 last week, 8 this week, including Johnny Jones earlier in April. Again, that's 17. Last year, the Buffs had 9 total official visits during the spring, summer. And just 18 total. And they're already at 17.
That reflected their 2025 class, too. Would they have only 8 or 9 guys who ended up committing?
I think that's right. And again, speaking of the caliber of players, of those 17 visits, 5 of those 17 are top 65 prospects, at least according to 24/7. And obviously, Cederian Morgan would be at top of that list. I think one of, if not the best player potentially in the state of Alabama, obviously the best receiver, no doubt. And you mentioned his size. bro looks like a college football player right now at this moment, with a ridiculous catch radius, a ridiculous ability to make people miss after the catch. Cederian Morgan would be that guy that I think you would kind of plant your stake on. Like, this is the signature player of this class. And coming out of the weekend, his first visit here in Boulder, it seems like the Buffs are in good shape for him.
And at the end of Friday's show, that's when he put out that tweet, right? Showing up full Sprinter van, full of family for Mother's Day weekend. I think Coach Corey Phillips was in the front of that picture. But the biggest takeaway from that for me was who he added, who he mentioned.
Who'd he mention?
Him. Julian Lewis.
The Enigma.
And then Cederian goes posting his visit photos. You can show the visit photos too, Alyssa. Boulder was shining this weekend too.
What a beautiful weekend.
These photos are crazy. Look at that, man. That doesn't look real.
Picturesque.
I've been there, and that doesn't look
no,
real.
For real.
But he posts this on his Instagram, and then Julian just quotes just comments "easy."
Easy money.
With what is that? The guy dribbling a basketball.
Yeah.
I love it,
Bro,
man.
look at that chain, dog.
I know. Isn't that insane?
Bruh, look at that chain. Look at that ice. That's ridiculous, bro. This era of college football and NIL, boy.
It's something.
It
You're not
is
even
insane.
in college,
I know,
bro.
right? I know. It's crazy. You're right. That's crazy. But,
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, those photos are crazy. That backdrop is still something I have yet to get used to.
I know.
Those views of the flat irons. I mean, look at it right there. Coach Andre Girard on the left there. Janari Carr. Got Janari Carr's
Janari.
real pronunciation of his first name, because it's spelled a little bit differently. It's spelled G''Nivre. That is pronounced Janari Carr, a 4-star offensive lineman
From
IMG Academy. Again,
sir.
he's flanked by Andre Girard on the left, Gunnar White on the right. Janari Carr would be a great add to this offensive line unit. Again, you had Jordan Seaton a couple cycles ago. You got Carday Smith. You got Chauncey Gooden this past cycle. Continuing to add to the trenches offensively with a guy like Janari Carr, a guy come from IMG Academy who's polished, who's played against elite competition. That would be a great add for this room in this 2026 class. And from the sounds of it, Janari had a great time, along with his IMG teammate, linebacker Duyan DQ Forkwood Jr. They both are in Boulder. The second straight weekend that an IMG duo was in Boulder for a visit. So exciting stuff. We'll see what all comes out of it. But the early impressions are those guys really enjoyed their time in Boulder. Why wouldn't they?
Definitely. Everyone's talking about it. There's Julius Miles, the tight end. Again, the full list of players who visited this last weekend on OVs from this 2026 recruiting class. Cederian Morgan, 4-star wide receiver Vance Spafford, who is a Georgia commit.
Yep.
That one was a little more under the radar, but he spoke to Steve Wiltfong about his time. He had a great time. I don't know. That's either Jordan Deck or Donovan Webb. I don't know which
This is
one
Donovan
exactly.
Webb
That's
right
Donovan
here.
Webb right
Yeah.
there. He's a 4-star safety. Jordan Deck's another 4-star safety who was visiting. You mentioned DK Forkpa, 4-star linebacker. Janari Carr, the 4-star offensive lineman. And then Dorian Barney, another big-time target.
DB.
He's been out before. Julian's former teammate at Carrollton. He's still out there. Julian's age too. Again, Julian reclassified. These are his guys that he came up with. But yeah, sounds like everyone had an absolute blast. Nothing but positive things about the city, about the coaching staff, the team, their time in Boulder this last weekend. The recruiting staff really did it up too. They had like hibachi up on the top on that part.
For real?
Did you not see that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, they went crazy, bro.
Hey, that's crazy, man. What a time. I mean, this recruiting staff, man, they and I feel like at this point they're gaining a reputation amongst like these blue chip, these 4- and 5-star recruits that like
It's different.
it's different.
Yeah.
That's a place that's a place you want to go and at least at the very least check out
100%.
and see what it's like. It might not be your cup of tea. And I think it was Deacon who said that last week, Friday. Deacon Schmidt, the top-ranked recruit in the state of Colorado, who obviously the Buffs are high on, he mentioned something similar to that on Friday when we talked about him. He was like, Colorado isn't going to be for everybody. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But he was talking about Julian. Julian saw something in Colorado.
Yep.
Deacon sees something in Colorado. And I think with the transformation that this program is currently undergoing underneath the leadership of Coach Prime, in addition to these high caliber visits, you're going to see the caliber of player that Colorado recruits and gets commits from start to continue to change for the better.
No doubt, man. Offensive lineman transfer Andre Roy, who started 7 games at Maryland at left tackle, was also in town.
Yeah.
We'll wait to see exactly what his decision is. I don't know if he has any other visits set up at the moment, but he was obviously interested in Colorado. Going back to that tweet you talked about with Matt.
Yeah.
Of the 17 OVs so far this year, they're not done.
Oh, no.
That we have another big weekend coming up in June next month.
With Rios, right?
With Oscar Rios,
Yeah.
yep. And there'll be some more blue chippers coming in then for sure. So it's looking different in Boulder. If you're just from the outside looking at this stuff, like,
Most definitely.
you know, we had the big recruiting weekend last year with Julian. That was one weekend in the whole summer, right? We've got at least three big time visiting weekends that are going to be happening this year. And as you mentioned, they're really gearing up to just arm the cabinets every position with blue chip
Facts.
talent. You
you got to do.
Of course it is. They see themselves as a Big 12 contender and a playoff program, and that's what those types of teams do.
So does Deacon Schmidt in terms of seeing them as a playoff contender. That was I think that was real cool and enlightening to hear from Deacon Schmidt that's how he views Colorado under Coach Prime now, as a college football playoff contender. And the only way you become that or stay that is by continuing to recruit players like Deacon Schmidt, like these blue chip players, like a Cederian Morgan, the DK Forkba, and Janari Carr, these type of players. That's who you continue to recruit and get in your building and on campus so you can be a playoff contender, compete for Big 12 championships. As we, get close to, I guess, this summer, this weekend, we could have some big 2026 news, or this week, I should say, in a couple of days.
Yeah,
48 hours.
Gavin Mueller,
the 4-star tight end out of Illinois, is making his decision, announcing his commitment on Wednesday, right after our show, about, 2:20, I think, Mountain Time, deciding, obviously, between Colorado, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, LSU. We talked a little bit about Gavin Mueller last week. Talked about his hilarious tweet where Coach Bartolone pulling up on him for the 5th day out of 7 days, and obviously Bartolone, who we talked about last week, is doing a hell of a job on the recruiting trail.
Yes, he is. Shout out Coach Bart.
Shout out Coach Bart, and that's obviously including his recruitment of Gavin Mueller, and we'll see what the 4-star tight end decides here on Wednesday. That'll be interesting to see. We'll be tuned in for sure.
One more quote, actually, then from this weekend, and that's on Julius Miles, the tight end who is there. And, as we mentioned, Coach Bartolone's done a great job in his time at Colorado, changing positions and all that.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning positively on the Gavin Mueller news, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. Well, Julius Miles is going to make things interesting.
How so?
Because his quote to Steve Wiltfong from this weekend says, "They just skyrocketed in my recruitment. The message is come be an All-American and first rounder."
Well, then.
Yeah.
I think he has that potential, too. Julius Miles does.
He's a big boy.
With the basketball background, dude is an athletic freak.
Listed at 6'6", 210.
And there's plenty of room to add onto that frame.
Sure.
In terms of pounds, in terms of muscle and strength. And he is highly coveted by a handful of programs. He's down there in Florida, right?
Yes.
Freeport. I believe, yeah. Florida, the Gators, Florida State is very much involved in his recruitment as well.
A lot of ACC schools in his OVs.
So, but I mean, it's hard to turn your back on something like that, where they're talking about you potentially developing into a first rounder. What else did he say? A what in a first rounder?
All-American.
All-American. Hey, man.
Yep.
It's the place to do it. But yeah, that'll be interesting, right? Because, I mean, what if Gavin Mueller commits on Wednesday to Colorado? Mm-hmm. How does that impact Julius Miles?
Sure.
Right?
Does it impact?
Does it at all? Right.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see.
Because obviously Corbin Laser didn't affect Zane DeSouza and the other way around this last cycle.
That's a good point, man.
So we'll see. You can star Cam's comment about the Michigan State quarterback. The one above that. Let's take our first break. And shout out to our friends over at Coors Light. It was a Coors Light weekend out here in Colorado.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Little windy, little overcast.
Yeah, it was kind of
times.
weirdly windy, but it wasn't anything crazy to take away from the beautiful.
No, we're
weather.
ramping up. We were in the 80s today. Nothing better than a Coors Light on the patio, balcony, wherever you are, hanging out. Come hang out with us at the DNVR bar. The Nuggets are still going strong. I mean, what a series that's been so far, them and the Thunder. Come watch Game 5, 6, maybe 7 here at the DNVR bar with us, and let's crush some Coors Lights. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
And shout out to the squad over at Toyota, man. It's funny that you mentioned the Denver Nuggets, who are currently entrenched in a riveting Western Conference playoff season with the Oklahoma City Thunder, currently tied at 2-2. Toyota got something for y'all, man. Make sure y'all check out Toyota's Drive to the Playoffs giveaway. Let's drive into the playoffs with Toyota. Enter now for your shot at winning incredible prizes, including playoff tickets, a private suite experience for you and your friends, a flyaway adventure to see a Nuggets playoff game on the road, or a chance to drive away in an all-new epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Look at that thing on the screen right there. Ain't that a beauty right there, man? The link is in our description. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be a part of the Nuggets playoff frenzy. Drive to the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores, Auto Nation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Inglewood, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR.
We also have a little sale going on right now in the DNVR locker. Go check it out. 30% off all inventory products. You get 75% off on some marked items as well. So go check it out. Great opportunity to get yourself some DNVR merch. Get yourself the Heisman shirt. We got tons of Heisman merch, by the way. So if you still need to, rep Travis and the season that was the 2024 season, get on it right there.
Get it in. This is the time. Spring clean. Look at all that drip on the screen, man.
Crazy.
Sheesh.
Love it. Get some of that DNVR gear, just the regular DNVR gear too. That stuff goes hard. All right.
Hey, there was a comment. If you could scroll up a little bit, Alyssa. It was right before our break that we just took from David Butler. Oh wait, no, not that one. Although that is kind of a funny comment. Where did it go? There it is, from Stevie Davey. He goes, seeing how that offensive line has been reloaded has to have you excited as an incoming recruit. And I completely agree, man. I think that's arguably the most encouraging thing on the recruiting side that's happened, I think, over the last, we'll call it year under Coach Prime. That offensive line had to be addressed in a big and major way. And that's not something you're going to be able to change or address in one offseason, sometimes maybe not even 2 off seasons. But there has clearly been an effort to improve the talent level up front on the offensive line. And I feel like, given the circumstances, this recruiting staff has really knocked it out the park. I mean, adding Zy Crisler, adding Xavier Hill, who are legitimate starters with a lot of experience at their previous schools, one in the Big Ten, one in the ACC, adding a Larry Johnson III, who started games in the SEC at tackle. We're talking about, Deacon Schmidt on the recruiting side and Brett Collegier. Like, I think Colorado was going to land one of those blue chip 4-star offensive linemen in this class. Just 2 years after getting Jordan Seaton, just a few months after landing a 4-star blue chipper in Carday Smith and
Chauncey
Gooden. Like, that is how you really get belief inside of a program that was 1-11 just a couple years ago. And again, a lot of these guys have multiple years of eligibility. Monte Taimani, who I didn't mention, multiple years of eligibility. Larry Johnson, obviously Jordan Seaton is still very young. Chauncey and Carday obviously have multiple years of eligibility. That has to be one of the most, I think, encouraging signs of this program right now. Again, on the recruiting side, that this offensive line is on the up and up, not only in the transfer portal, but on the recruiting side as well. And that could continue, obviously, with Deacon Schmidt and whoever they might add up front in this 2026 class. But great comment there. That's
a great point, and it should be a sign also to these recruits coming in to visit. Like, room's filling up quick.
Yeah, get on board.
If you want to hop on board, come on through, because it ain't going to be an open room for much longer, I don't think.
I mean, just think about some of the pieces on this team right now. You have a blue chip 5-star quarterback waiting in the wings as a true freshman. You have the offensive line situation that is improving that I just laid out.
Yeah.
You got a Hall of Fame running back coach.
Yep.
You have, in my opinion, one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football. With a Coach Prime, the best defensive back, cornerback ever in time, kind of overseeing all of that. There's a lot to like with this program and where it's headed just from a macro perspective.
Of course. Definitely, man. You can, I mean, and Stevie had another great comment. You can see it just in the size of the offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the progress
For sure.
as the years have gone.
Again, that projected right side of this Colorado offensive line averages 6'7", 345 pounds.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Wrapping it up on Cederian Morgan, though, he wants to get this done, his recruitment this summer. July 2nd is his commitment date. He's still going on OVs. This weekend kicked off his OV cycle, actually. He'll be in Georgia this weekend. End of the month, he'll be in Clemson. And then in June, he wraps it up in Florida. And then the two hometown visits to Auburn and Alabama. And those two seem to still be in the lead in his recruitment. I think Colorado did make up some ground this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's enough. I mean, the dude came out here with his whole family. It's clear he wants to be around them and stay with them. So the appeal of going to an Auburn or an Alabama and staying close to home, even Georgia or Florida, is probably going to eke out Colorado ultimately. But the Buffs made a good impression this weekend. So.
No doubt. And that's really all you can ask for at this point in the middle of May.
Definitely. All right, we did get a commitment over the weekend. A name that, man, if you are a diehard of the CU Buffs, you know this name. Jack Hestera is back at Colorado. Redshirted in 21, I believe. No? True freshman in 22? Either way, he was a redshirt freshman or true freshman.
He's got 1 year of eligibility left, so he might have not.
He's played the last 3 years.
So, yeah.
So
21, 22 at Colorado. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah. 21, he redshirted. Yeah. 22, he played. 23, he was at Charlotte. He played. 24, he was at Utah State. He played. So, yeah, those last 3 years. He's got 1 left.
Damn, man. There was 5 players on that 22 team who were like, okay, you got something with this
So you
guy.
remember, bro, for real, from that 2022
Of course I do.
team?
Yes, bro. Jack Hestera, of course.
Nice.
Like, he was making some plays. He didn't really get an opportunity until later in the season when things kind of went off the rails. But he made some nice plays. He's got some speed.
Yeah.
I mean, really, one of the only plays that worked on offense that year was every game you had one jet sweep you could count on to Jack Hestera.
Nice.
Or some type of like easy flip to him or something like that. You know what I mean? So he's coming back into the fold. Played at Utah State the last he started at Charlotte after leaving Colorado in 22. Played there in 23.
Yeah, he was just at Utah State this past
Went
year.
to Utah State this last year. Had a decent year. 24 receptions for 340 receiving yards. Had a massive game against UNLV.
Yeah.
10 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. He had 4 touchdowns on the season. But yeah, another wide receiver. Look, you need wide receivers almost as much as any position on the team because of just the numbers.
For sure.
For special teams.
Yes.
And then, of course, for running scout team, third team, second team, all that stuff. You just need wide receivers in college football. Every other college football team is built like this.
For sure. And you can't sleep on the fact of his ability, Jack Hestera's ability, to get those other guys ready. Talking about the defensive backs, getting them really good reps against, they don't have to be against the starters, the guys who you are going to have out there on the field a lot, but you can get in practice really good reps for your defensive backs against guys who are really strong route runners that can get open and make plays on the football like Jack Hestera can. I really like Jack Hestera, his game from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, man.
I mean, his career numbers, 66 career catches, 846 career yards, 7 career touchdowns. All of that production is second on the team currently among current Buffs. Only Sincere Brown has more career yards and more career touchdowns. So I know a lot of people. It is a hell of a stat, right? This is quite literally, Jack Hestera is one of the most productive receivers on this team. And obviously there are other receivers on this team with probably more potential, guys that we're very high on, but Jack Hestera can just play. He did it at Utah State. He did it at Charlotte. He showed flashes at Colorado.
He did.
And this is a guy who I think has the right makeup, too. This is a former walk-on at Colorado, right? Felt like he wasn't getting a fair shake. I'm going to go to Charlotte, and I'm going to be their best receiver. I'm going to go to Utah State, maybe a bit step up in competition, and be one of their best. I think he was their second leading receiver this past year. And, he played against a top 12 Utah team earlier in the year who had one of the best defenses, one of the best secondary in the conference, scored a touchdown against Utah. Played a top 21 Washington State game team this past year, scored a touchdown as well. So this dude can get open. 6 foot, 185 pounds. That's the frame of Quan Alexander right now. Like that frame will do. That frame will play.
Yeah.
And I think this is not a dude that I'm going to just put aside. Like he's just simply depth.
Sure.
I think Jack Hestera can play.
Look, man, again, he contributed on the 22 team. I can only imagine he's gotten better since then. He's gotten more on-field experience for damn sure.
For sure.
So yeah, it's another addition to what's becoming a pretty loaded and some would say crowded room. But one, you're going to need these guys. Don't make me bring up the K-State game again.
Right.
Like we all saw that happen in real time.
For sure.
Jack's got some wheels too, man. I mean, I know they want to work out Quanell and Quentin at the returners.
Maybe Cam.
Maybe Cam. Maybe some DeKalen.
Sure.
But I think Jack could be a factor in there as well.
And that's a bit surprising. I didn't really know that he has that kind of speed ability.
He does, yeah.
Where they were trying to give him jet sweeps and stuff like that around the end, stuff like that. Dude is versatile.
He is.
Dude can play. Again, him and Sincere Brown and Terrell Timmons are the only receivers on this roster with just 1 year of eligibility left in their final year of eligibility. So this is a dude who is experienced, who's played a lot of football over the last few years, and I really like this ad. I don't think this is somebody who is a 1,000-yard receiver incoming or anything.
Sure.
But right around 25 catches, 300, 400 yards. That would be a really, I think, nice addition to this offense. And again, I like this young man's game. It's a good ad.
No doubt, man. Our guy Adam Munster Tiger at Buff Stampede also reported earlier today that we spoke last week about North Alabama linebacker Sean Myers. I think they were trying to set up a visit for this weekend, but it's going to happen earlier this week. I also found out why we couldn't find stuff on him playing in 2024.
What's that?
He got hurt. Played 2 games. First 2 games. Missed the rest of the season. So that's why there's not much out there on him. But he started in 22 career games at North Alabama, was a team captain in his career, 105 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 interceptions, 6 PBUs. So there's your linebacker news for the day.
Interesting. I mean, that makes me feel, I guess, a little bit better hearing that, he just missed out on this season because he was not healthy. Right. So I think that makes you feel a little bit better because dude was productive in 2023.
He was.
And in 2022 as well. So coming up from Northern Alabama, again, this kind of fits the profile of transfers that this recruiting staff has kind of targeted, particularly at the linebacker spot. So we'll see what ends up happening after Sean Myers visits Boulder tomorrow.
Let's take our next break. Shout out to the people over at Raising Cane's. Not much else to say. It's just elite. Best chicken fingers in the game. Get those crispy crinkle cut fries, that buttery Texas toast, secret cane sauce, that coleslaw as well. What's your thoughts on coleslaw? Are you
I only like my dad's.
That's fair. It's a controversial topic.
Yep. I only like my dad's.
Cane's has good coleslaw, though. I can vouch for that.
I believe it.
Get the extra Texas toast. Make a little sandwich. I'm telling you, just put a little coleslaw in there, rounds it all out.
Facts.
And of course, with that super secret extra special sauce. Dive into Flavor Flav's faves. What are you waiting for? It's Cane's O'Clock, Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
One love. And shout out to the squad over at Monarch Money, man. Let me tell y'all something that y'all already know. Sometimes it's tough keeping track of where our money goes and knowing and discovering where every single dollar, where it's allocated to.
You have to. You got to pay attention.
Whether it's, some blind spots like takeout, delivery food, some online shopping, some retail therapy, which we all need sometimes, even rideshare services. Finances can be messy, and they can sometimes be confusing. So that is where Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. Financial stress is one of the top reasons relationships fall apart. So Monarch Money makes conversations like that a lot easier. Get control of your overall finances on Monarch Money. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR.
All right.
Chad's talking about Jalen Wester. I guess we're on the linebackers talking about Sean Myers. Shout out to Jalen Wester for committing to Western Kentucky. Overly excited for him.
Facts. Wish him well. Hope he has a great season out there.
Definitely.
We'll talk Travis and Shedeur here a bit later. You spoke to Jase Mathews.
I did.
Earlier in the weekend. He was on the big visit weekend, not this last weekend, but the weekend before that, with Jake Krull and Brett College and Deacon and all those guys. What'd you learn from Jase?
Yeah, shout out to Jase for taking some time to chop it up with me on Friday, man. Again, if you aren't familiar with Jase, this is a 4-star wide receiver out of Leakesville, Mississippi, down there in the SIP. 6'1.5", 182 pounds, a really explosive athlete, a real freak athlete too, with a track and field background. Also plays basketball as well. You mentioned he was on that big visit a couple weeks ago. With a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits. And Jase Mathews is that type of caliber of recruit. I just asked him about his game, and the thing that he said that he thinks stands out is his very large catch radius. And that is so evident on film. Like, there are multiple times his film is just littered with, I'm talking about one-handed catches, like acrobatic two-handed catches in the back of the end zone. I asked him, like, who's a receiver you kind of think you compare to? Who do you think he said? An elite receiver, NFC, one of the best in the league.
Still playing?
Jettas? Nah. I'll give you 2 more guesses. His team just actually traded for another receiver to be this guy's number 2.
Jackson Smith and Jigba?
CeeDee Lamb. Jase Mathews compares himself a lot to CeeDee Lamb. And you see the similarities, like the acrobatic catches, not overly big, but still physical. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of shows up on Jase Mathews' his film. It was his first time out in Boulder a couple weeks ago, like we mentioned. He said he had an amazing time getting to know the coaches, meeting new people, and seeing how they are outside of football practices and games. He said his favorite part of the visit was meeting with Coach Phillips, who I mentioned last week. I think is the best recruiter on this team outside of the recruiting staff, outside of Corey Phillips and Coach Box, obviously. But in terms of the position coaches, I think Coach Phillips has done a hell of a job, and he's obviously made a hell of an impression on Jase Mathews. And he specifically mentioned that he likes that Coach Phillips played receiver back in the day. It was like a dog, back in Houston in college days, obviously played in the NFL. He mentioned the fact that, Coach Phillips played against the best cornerback of all time quite a bit, competing with him, obviously in Coach Prime when they were together in Atlanta, correct? I believe.
Yep, you're right.
So he talked a lot about Juju, their connection as well. So he says that he plans to make his decision sometime in August. He hasn't confirmed that yet, but that's kind of where he's feeling, similar to KJ Edwards, who he talked about. If this team can't land a Cederian Morgan, a 5-star receiver, Jase Mathews would be a really good consolation prize. And I use air quotes for that because he's no consolation. Like, Jase Mathews is a 5-star caliber player, would be an elite add to this receiver room. And as we know, this Coach Phillips, Coach Prime, they going to get them one of them ones at receiver every single cycle. Jase Mathews will fit that build.
He's a top 100 player in this 2026 recruiting class. I mean, he somehow kind of got overshadowed with everything that was going on last weekend, but make no mistake about it, you're right. This is a blue chipper. This is someone that any school would be lucky to get. That's just what Colorado does, though. I mean, you saw it this weekend with Jack Hestera's commitment.
For sure.
The wide receiver room is least of my worries with this team. And we're basically forever will be as long as Coach Prime is the head coach.
Most definitely. He's obviously got a handful of visits. He's going to visit his home state, Ole Miss, later this month. He's got Auburn after that, Texas A&M after that, and Miami after that. So a full summer of visits, but he kicked it off with Colorado, and he was impressed. So be on the lookout for that.
Triple L asked if he'll be a scholarship. I'm assuming you're referring to Jack Hestera?
Yes, he will.
Okay, thank you.
Jack Hestera will be on scholarship.
All right, some lists. Do you want a good list or a bad list?
I want a good list.
So ESPN today put out college football's top 2025 newcomer classes. Recruits and transfers combined based on who can see the most impactful immediate returns for the 2025 season. Do you want me to go down the list?
No.
So there were 25 teams?
Yep, 25.
25 teams in this, and Colorado lands at number 12 on this list.
Pretty damn good. Again, this list combines transfers and recruits, correct?
Yep. And the players listed: Julian Lewis, of course, London Merritt, Quentin Gibson, and Quanell X Farrakhan. Top transfers: Caden Salter, Xavier Hill, Joseph Williams, Sincere Brown. Sincere Brown getting in that group already.
Most productive receiver on this team right now, as it stands.
Zy Chrysler and Aki Okunbiwi. I'll read a bit. Oops, sorry, just scrolled off of it. For the recruits, it says Lewis is a 5-star recruit, one of the most heralded quarterbacks in the ESPN recruiting era. They've been doing it for a little. He obviously headlines Colorado's recruiting class, arrives with all the tools to set records in Boulder. On Quanell, they said might see the field before any other freshman as either a returner or rotating outside receiver. Mentions his big play speed, great hands, and football instincts. Quentin Gibson, they say small in stature but coming off a monster season. We all know that. They also mention his return game and how he can be used in different ways to get in space.
Bro, I don't think we should just skip past. I know we've talked about it countless times.
Just say the line, bro.
The fact that this man, Quentin Gibson, had 2,000 receiving yards and 36 receiving touchdowns in one season.
Insane.
Down there in Texas. The Max Preps National Player of the Year is a Colorado Buffalo. It's crazy.
Insane production. Caden Salter. So this was interesting. It says he's not that far behind Shedeur Sanders' accuracy, which I know Caden has obviously tried to make that. Oh, by the way, shout out to Caden. Took the first shot at Game 3 on Friday night. Dope. That was sick.
Drained it too. Ice in his veins. That boy is not fazed by a playoff crowd. That should make people smile.
100%, dude.
That was dope.
And yeah, now ESPN writes, don't sleep on his accuracy. And it's something we've been kind of saying too.
Yeah.
I don't think the 2024 Caden Salter is representative of who he is as a player.
No.
That team had issues, obviously. Multiple people left, including him.
People forget that Caden Salter was an Elite 11 finalist.
Yeah. No, he was a blue chip recruit.
You only are an Elite 11 finalist if you are one of the best quarterbacks in, your class coming out of high school. And when Juju was obviously an Elite 11 finalist,
yeah,
Caden Salter was an Elite 11 mentor for the young guys. So Caden Salter, he does this. We obviously love his athleticism and his ability to run the football, but he is a quarterback first.
Facts. And then on the offensive line was Xavier Hill, who was mentioned as a transfer. The offensive line has undergone a near-complete overhaul, though it's too early to say whether it will be better than last year's group. I'm going to tell you right now, ESPN. It's better than last year's group. At 6'4", 318 pounds, Hill, a Memphis transfer, has impressive mobility for his massive size and can play either guard or tackle. Sincere Brown was a key addition. They mentioned his production, as you brought up earlier in the show, and his size at 6'5".
Red zone threat.
Other notable schools who made this list.
So Colorado, you said they checked in at number 12 overall. Was that the second Big 12 team? I assume Texas Tech was near the top.
They would have to be. That's what I thought as
Texas
well.
Tech is at 5.
Okay.
So Colorado is the number 2 Big 12 team in terms of overall newcomers.
Bill Belichick's North Carolina at 25, USC at 24.
I mean, and I tweeted this earlier, but the 3 teams after Colorado on this rankings, Florida State, Georgia, and Alabama.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Some good company to be in terms of bringing in newcomers from both the transfer portal and the recruiting ranks to your program. It's good company to be in.
Nebraska at number 17. And I think you're right. I think it's just it's just Colorado and Texas Tech in the Big 12. Which look, West Virginia had one of the biggest transfer portal overhauls this offseason. They're not mentioned on this list. UCF.
Not surprised.
I mean, I get it, but UCF too. They've lost a lot, and they've had to replace a lot as well.
And that's why I think Colorado has done a really good job this cycle of combining quality and quantity, right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like the first time they went through this, like, you're just getting bodies.
Right.
You're getting capable dudes to fill the roster. And you started to shift, I think, more towards quality last offseason. And this offseason, I think it's at a really good mix of both quality and quantity, particularly up front, which is where they needed to make the most improvement, and they've done that.
So, Colorado ranks 12th on ESPN's newcomers list, right?
Yes.
Second in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that would put them in a Big 12 power ranking?
Depends who's making this Big 12 power ranking.
What do you think they would put Colorado
at? 12.
You know what, Scotty? You're not that far off.
Got to be 11 or 12.
So all that we just said, 247 Sports over the weekend put out this list of the Big 12 football power rankings.
When they put this out?
Put this out on the 10th. So that was Friday?
Friday, yeah. Or Saturday.
From worst to best, number 16, the Arizona Wildcats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I think I kind of do. What I saw from Fafita last year was not encouraging.
It wasn't.
And the whole rest of the team just left. So, and the coach is on the hot seat after 1 year.
I mean, I think they're a lock for a bottom four finish in the conference, but I think I would be a bit surprised if they were the worst team. But it's on the table.
They were down there in the Pac-12 not too long ago as well. It was one of the worst teams. So
true. You're right.
After that, they got UCF.
That's right.
Right? Just mentioned it. A lot of turnover. They got Cincinnati at 14.
That's good for my sleeper agenda.
It is.
Them being a sleeper.
I just thought that was a good football team and program we saw last year. I don't know how they're third to last.
And Carleone back too?
He is. Yep. They get their best player back. Yeah. West Virginia is at 13. A lot of turnover with them. Rich Rod is back. You know, we'll see. Number 12 is Houston.
I think that's right. I think that's about right.
Oh, boy. The little blurb here on Houston, by the way, says, despite finishing near the bottom of the Big 12 again, Houston surprised some in 2024 and should continue to make progress under head coach Willie Fritz in 2025. If incoming transfer quarterback Connor Wegman can regain that confidence that propelled him into a 5-star recruit, the Cougars could take a significant step forward.
That basic ass blurb.
The team is better, bro. The team is. If Connor Wigman could come in there and actually throw a forward pass for them, something they didn't have last year,
he's the X factor. Because I've been on record, better. I like him.
Yeah,
I like him I liked him at A&M. I liked him coming out of high school. He can play to me. Mm-hmm. We'll see what the rest of the team looks like.
Number 11 is Oklahoma State. 60 newcomers for them. It says in this article. Transfers.
Yeah, They turned a lot of quantity in the transfer portal for them this offseason.
Number 10.
Don't piss me off.
Why?
Who's 10 here?
Number 10 is Coach Prime in the Colorado Buffaloes.
That's crazy, dog. Yep. See, I was getting ready to say Colorado and Houston too damn close on these power rankings.
Yep.
Colorado and Oklahoma State is too damn close to each other.
There was a 50-plus point gap between the two in November. We're not even 6 months removed from that.
The regular season finale, correct?
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
So their blurb, their explanation for this says a step back should be expected for Colorado with leaders Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders now in the NFL.
Fair.
Valid, of course.
Fair.
Everyone expects this. Yes.
Now here comes the bull junk.
I don't even know if it's that, bro. The battle for starting quarterback continues with former Liberty standout Caden Salter competing against touted freshman Julian Lewis. The Buffaloes boast the number 2 transfer portal class in the Big 12 with another large crop of newcomers set to make an impact. Deion Sanders has coached his son since high school, so how he adapts to life without them on the roster in 2025 remains one of the more intriguing storylines in the lead up to week 1. I don't disagree with any of that. They just didn't look at the roster at all. Clearly.
I mean, what do we do? 9 teams in the Big 12? They must think that the Big 12 is going to be a 2 playoff team. A 2 playoff team this year.
2 playoff team conference.
Sure, yes. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because, I mean, what the hell?
You want to guess who's number 9?
Yeah, I do want to guess.
All right. What do you got?
Kansas.
You're absolutely right.
I knew it because that was the answer that would have pissed me off the most. I knew it.
Number 9 is Kansas. Number 8 is TCU. Number 7 is Utah. Number 6 is Baylor. I thought that was a little low for them. Number 5 is BYU. 4 is K-State. 3 is Iowa State. 2 is Texas Tech. And number 1, they've got ASU sitting up atop.
Why is Iowa State top 3?
I don't know. Matt Campbell. Rocco Becht is back. They added 2 pretty good transfers. Chase Sewell, former Buff. He's going to be playing for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time is a flat circle. We're right back here.
It's crazy, isn't it?
We're right back here in the same
We never
spot.
left, brother.
Literally.
We never left.
Oh, man.
All right. Travis or Shedeur first? Travis is quick. Let's just do Travis real quick.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is just... I don't even have the words to describe this dude anymore. He is... I don't know, just one of the best human beings on the planet, I guess. This story came out from over the weekend because the Jags had minicamp. By the way, Travis looked great in that. I don't know if you saw him out there moving.
For sure.
But Travis, so this is he met this woman on this flight home from Denver. Here's her Facebook post. She said, I had the most wonderful flight home from Denver. I met the nicest young man who sat next to me. He offered to put my bag in the overhead compartment and help me with my tray. He was always polite, saying yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am. Anyone would be proud to have him as a son or grandson. So polite. People walking by were saying congratulations, great job, or even taking pictures. I turned and asked him, who am I sitting next to? I looked at his Jaguar pants, probably his pajama pants. Smiled and asked, are you an athlete? He smiled and said, I'm Travis. Yes, I was drafted by the Jags. I already told my sons I want his jersey. He's so humble and down to earth. I would have never guessed he was a professional athlete. Jacksonville Jags, you did good. I will be buying tickets. How about that?
2 things. 1, nobody who is a fan of the Colorado Buffaloes or follows the Colorado Buffaloes is surprised by any of that.
Not at all.
That is exactly who Travis Hunter has been since the world Buff Nation has known him. A respectful young man. And that's just perfectly encapsulates the type of person he is. And that perfectly encapsulates also to me why, if you're Jacksonville, you trade up, you do whatever, you go to number 2 overall, and you get that young man in your city, in your building, on your team. Because his impact is just bigger than football. And for a city like Jacksonville and a franchise like the Jaguars that just needs something or someone to be able to cling to and be proud of.
Yeah, they need some juice.
Travis Hunter is the perfect player, perfect person to do that. And that was just another evidence of that. And shout out to that lady. I mean, she seems like such a sweetheart.
I know.
Right? She could have had that experience and went home and just told her family about it. But she, it impacted her enough that she wanted to put it out there in the world for social media. And as we know, once it gets out there on social media and it's Travis related, it's going to blow up. And I'm glad there was something like that, something positive to blow out the way it did.
It was the least surprising thing I saw from the weekend. I mean, it's just Travis being Travis, so that was great. Can you pull up that picture of Shedeur, Alyssa? 2 has been absolutely balling in rookies minicamp for the Cleveland
You said
Browns.
who?
2.
12.
Or I'm sorry, 12 now. But either way. So this is him taking a picture with all the rookies who got minicamp invites, right?
Yep.
And
Not the drafted guys,
Yes.
but the guys who got, like you said, rookie minicamp invites.
I'm sorry. I deleted my tab somewhere. I don't even know where it went. The reason I brought this up, and I wish I had his name. I don't have it brought up right now. But the Browns ended up signing one of these guys.
Yeah.
A wide receiver.
Yep.
Wonder who was throwing him those footballs to make that wide receiver shine so much.
Who?
In rookie minicamp. I mean, it had to be Shedeur Sanders, right?
Had to have been, man.
That looks like a franchise quarterback right there. Who else has motion like that, bro?
Nobody. Speaking of motion, bro, it was hilarious, bro. When the actual the rookies who were drafted were taking their photo, and Judkins and Sampson were trying to throw off the watch. Bro, that was hilarious and like low key awkward at the same time. And
It
it's
was
just like
great. I loved it.
I loved it too because you can see like Shedeur, he sees it, he wants to like laugh, but
He's all, come on,
he like,
man.
come on, like you can't do that. And Gabriel on the other side of the photo, like, damn, I
Yep.
wish I had something that
Yep.
cool. And like Carson Schwetzinger is like he's like looking over at Gabriel,
Yeah.
like see his reaction to it. Like, come on, man, you're not gonna push Shedeur in any football locker room. And he don't win over that locker room.
Of course, bro.
It's just not going to happen. And we already seen it through 3 days of rookie minicamp. Mm-hmm. Wait till the whole team. I mean, we saw some older players, some vets.
Yeah.
Just last week.
Martin Emerson.
Martin Emerson. Got to walk up to him and say what's up.
Yep.
You know? Because that's QB1. Mm-hmm. That's the franchise changer right there. And I think Shedeur is obviously ball from what we've seen this past weekend. Rookie minicamp.
I mean, perfect timing all over the place.
100%. And the one clip that I think came out yesterday, which I think was the most impressive clip I saw, under center, play action,
Yep.
dart down the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. And that is a part of his game that has me so confident in his success in the NFL because he just didn't have that. What is play action,
bro?
What was play action in Colorado? It didn't exist. And
it was RPO action.
The 1-2% of the times that they did run it, it almost worked exclusively. I really want to know, I'm just thinking of this now, what went into that UCF offensive game plan? Because that offensive game plan, run and pass, was elite.
Yeah.
And we just didn't really see anything like that
know.
the rest of the year. But again, when you put Shedeur with a running game, which it looks like both of those rookie running backs look like dogs.
Oh, they can.
Junkins
One's
is
the
Samson.
Player of the year, offensive player of the year.
The SEC offensive player of the year, bro.
Yeah, and the other one just, I mean, if he wasn't splitting the backfield with a first-round pick, he probably would have been a first-round pick
For
himself.
sure. A national champion.
Yes.
So with a running game, with a really good offensive line, the ability to play action, Kevin Stefanski calling plays, mixing up the run and pass. Mm-hmm. That's why I tried to tell y'all for months on end, weeks on end before the draft.
You did.
Cleveland Browns were the best spot, the best fit for Shedeur Sanders. Through 3 days of rookie minicamp, it seems like people are starting to come around on that. And this is truly just the beginning. Y'all just wait.
Just hope the Browns don't do Browns things.
And I'll say this too, Gabriel looked decent too. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see it throw.
I feel
Didn't care.
I feel like they might have got their QB1, QB2 for the next decade.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Keyshawn Johnson is the undrafted wide receiver's name. So he goes out, he's only on a tryout, by the way, too. He's not even signed on a UDFA deal.
For sure.
He signed on a rookie tryout. Come in here, show me what you got, impress me. Did that. Ended up earning a contract with the Cleveland Browns. Played 1 year at Western Kentucky, 14 games, 75 receptions, 925 yards, and 7 tuds. Good year.
For real.
Great year, actually, especially for your 1 year. But to go in and to have someone like Shedeur throwing you the ball, I could only imagine that guy probably, once he realized he was going to go try out for the Browns, he's like, oh my God, like, I just got to do me, basically.
Period.
So
That's what's up, man.
Shedeur's already doing it.
And you know, it's so cool, too. I think the first day after Friday rookie minicamp, it came out that Shedeur stayed after practice to get some extra reps in a receiver. He did that again after day 2.
Yep.
And I saw on yesterday, he's making plays with that receiver that he stayed after practice with.
Wow.
What a concept. And again, this is what Shedeur Sanders does.
That's who he is.
It's who he is. And the more people in Cleveland spend time around him and just get to know him, they're going to be like, damn, we really got a franchise quarterback in the 5th round of the NFL draft.
And he's crushing it on the podium, too, saying all the right things.
Yes.
That one answer to, what was the question? Like, are you trying to prove other people wrong or whatever it is? He's like, I'm just trying to prove myself right, basically. And that's what it's about, man. He's
always up there smiling. Again, he has never, everything that happened to him on draft night, he has never once publicly looked sad, did the woe is me act. Never. Grateful for opportunity. Got the smile on my face. That's been him the entire time. And that's going to continue to be him because that's who he is.
So, there's an update on Travis and Shedeur. Too long, didn't watch, didn't read. Shedeur Sanders is Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter is Travis Hunter.
Period.
All right, to the Toyota chat we go. What's up, Artemis? When will they do? When will we do projected starters show for the Buffs? That's a good question. I don't know actually.
Soon, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll obviously have to wait till RK gets back. Congrats to RK and Allie again, by the way.
Shout out to RK and Allie, man. Tying the knot, man. That's awesome stuff.
I had
We love to
serious
see
FOMO
it.
this
For real,
weekend.
for real.
Also, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Of course.
To answer your question, I don't know. I'd like to do it with RK though, so I don't know. I don't want to overdo it though, like because we're already gonna do it before the season and stuff.
For sure.
Maybe we'll do one here this summer.
Yeah, my plan always was pre-spring, post-spring, and then again right before the season.
I guess we didn't do post spring,
Right.
So,
But for me, obviously, I'm gonna have something on the site written on the DNVR.com. But I was just kind of waiting for this spring portal cycle to kind of finish up because I think there'll probably be at least 2 to 3 more transfer commitments coming for the Buffs. So when that's finalized, we'll have projected starters out, post spring projected starters out.
SN Services asked how many years of eligibility for Morgan. He's a recruit. All of them.
Yeah. That's crazy.
El Rico asks, when is Colorado back on the field? We're not back on the field till July.
A minute.
Long time, unfortunately. Yes, Cam, we can talk about oh man, what's his name?
Who?
The Michigan State quarterback.
Why would we be talking about a Michigan State quarterback?
Because Colorado offered him. Cade Kaufman is his name. 4-star player. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now. So Colorado just offered him May 7th. Top 300 player in the class. 4-star on the 247 Sports Composite. Cade Kaufman's listed at 6'2", 185. Goes to East Kentwood in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Been committed to Michigan State since February. We'll see. We'll see if he comes in on a visit. I assume, and it appears like Oscar Rios is their top target at quarterback right now, but we'll find out. What are you laughing at, bro?
This
my
man
God.
Wayne Morgan is silly, dog.
We're going to overtime. If you're watching on your TV, all those great apps that are streaming DNVR and our show, head on over to the DNVR.com where we're going to wrap up the show. All right. Super chats we go. D Nice says, this draft was wide receiver U for CU. What position group from CU will dominate the 2026 draft class? Good question.
Cornerback. They'll have 2 drafted.
Yeah. Yep. It's kind of it, huh? I mean, if Caden gets drafted, that's a big time.
Yeah.
2 straight quarterbacks being drafted. And then you have Julian waiting in the wings.
QBU? Question mark. I think maybe potentially defensive line, maybe too, right?
Yes, Arden, Barnes.
Yeah.
I'm going off the top of my head. You're going to have to help me here. I can't list all the seniors.
Amari McNeil's a senior.
Thank you.
Tavian Coleman's a senior. Toffee Thomas is a senior. Those
you
5 seniors on the D line. Potential.
How's it going, Laura?
Hey, Laura.
She says, shout out. Congrats to RK and Allie on their wedding. Looks like it was a beautiful weekend on the beach.
For real, for real.
Yes, it did.
I'm so proud of my boy, man.
Me too, man. I'm hyped for him to come back. I miss him.
For real.
Day Trippin says, how many linebackers are still on the roster? It's like 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. There you go.
7.
And they have an 8th potentially visiting right now. What's up, Kev? Now I see why the Saints didn't draft Shedeur. This is a theory. Doug Nussmeier is their new OC. Want to take a guess who his son is? Yep. He'll be in the NFL draft next year. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I saw that connection too between Doug Nussmeier and Garrett Nussmeier.
Nah, Kev. Tyler Shook is their QB1, man. They got their guy for the future.
Bro, what are they doing, honestly? They had to know this was coming with Derek Carr.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And they used the top 50 pick on a quarterback, the quarterback of the future. Good for New Orleans, man. Hope that works out.
They don't want to win anymore, I guess. They got the one.
Bro, they haven't wanted to win in a long time, I don't think.
No, they haven't won anything in a minute, but they get the one in 2009, and they're like, yep, I'm good.
We're good, man. It's crazy. I still can't believe Tyler Shook.
I can't believe all of them.
All of them, dude.
The only one I'll give a slide on is Cam Ward. Should not have been picked below
I agree.
the rest of those guys. Don Peasy again says, great show. Oh, can you scroll up? Sorry, it's great show. 2 things. Number 1, get them likes up. Facts. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
Like button.
Number 2, the more I hear Shedeur speak and perform, the more I believe the Giants are bitches for what they did. Don Peasy words, not mine, but I do agree.
Yeah, the Giants, they silly, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
And now they're like releasing all the interviews with all their players and all the players that aren't even drafted. We're never going to see this Shedeur interview that was so bad that apparently all 32 teams, I'll throw the Browns in there too, decided that Shedeur wasn't a day 1 or day 2 draft pick. It's crazy.
Really have to look at Brian Daboll differently.
Yeah.
I was a real fan of his prior to this whole draft cycle.
Man.
Can't say the same anymore, honestly.
How do you feel about that? The like setting quarterbacks up in the meetings, like trying to see if they can catch bad information or wrong information.
I don't mind any of that. I feel like that's part of it. And that's not the part that I'm upset with Daboll. I'm more just upset about how things came out of it. Mm-hmm. Whether you liked Shedeur or not in the personal setting, that all didn't need to come out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We don't know if Brian Daboll was the one who leaked that, but he certainly had a say. Mm-hmm. And he was probably the main one interacting with Shedeur in those one-on-one meetings or in those intimate settings. So it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth how Shedeur and the Giants, that whole situation kind of unfolded.
Learned a lot about the NFL over the last 2 weeks. Don Peasy says, bet there won't be no Nepo talk when the Saints draft Nussmeier. Of course not. You're not going to hear it about the Manning last name. You're not going to hear about Nussmeier. Of course not. Nicole says nepotism only works when your last name isn't Sanders.
Period.
In the football world, apparently that's how it works.
Period.
All right, chat. That was fun. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.